Welcome to an alternate past. Today's video is, what if the Battle of Midway had been lost by the United States? Imagine a world where the United States had lost the Battle of Midway in June 1942. The outcome of this pivotal naval conflict was crucial in the Pacific theater of World War II. What if it had ended in Japanese victory? The ramifications would have stretched across the globe, altering the course of history in shocking and unimaginable ways. A Japanese victory at Midway would have meant the destruction of American air carriers and the decimation of the Pacific Fleet. This would have granted Japan undisputed control over the Pacific Ocean, leading to the potential invasion of Hawaii. The psychological impact on the American people could have been devastating, shattering morale and shaking confidence in the ability to win the war. With the Pacific Fleet crippled, Japan would have executed its plans to solidify its grip over Southeast Asia and the Pacific Islands. This could have led to a prolonged occupation of crucial territories, including the resource-rich Dutch East Indies. A steady supply of oil and other critical materials would have bolstered Japan's war economy, making them an even more formidable opponent. A successful Japanese campaign in the Pacific could have forced the United States to divert significant resources from the European theater to counteract the growing threat. Such a shift in focus might have delayed the Allied invasion of Normandy, giving Nazi Germany more time to consolidate its power in Europe. There could have been extended periods of brutal occupation throughout the continent, with more widespread atrocities and human suffering. In Australia, the fear of Japanese invasion would have been palpable. With America's naval power diminished, the defense of Australia would have become a paramount concern. The country might have experienced severe hardship and shortages as resources were redirected towards military defenses. Civilian life would have been marked by constant anxiety, bombardments, and potential infiltration by Japanese forces. The defeat at Midway could have dramatically altered relationships among the major Allied powers. Confidence in American leadership might have wavered, creating fractures and delays in coordinated efforts. This lack of unity could have emboldened Axis powers, prolonging the war and exponentially increasing the loss of life and destruction. On the home front, the United States might have faced severe political and social turmoil. Wartime dissent could have grown into large-scale protests, demanding changes in leadership and policy. America's wartime economy, already stretched thin, might have struggled with the additional burden of bolstering defenses at home and abroad. Technological advancements that emerged from the crucible of war could have taken different paths. With more prolonged conflict, the development of nuclear weapons might have been expedited or further delayed. The use of atomic bombs, whether in the context of hastening the war's end or as desperate measures in losing scenarios, would have introduced a new level of devastation. In the longer term, the geopolitical landscape post-World War II would have differed significantly. Japan, emerging from a prolonged Pacific conflict victorious or with an advantageous peace, might have positioned itself as a stronger regional and global power. This could have led to different alignments and balance of power in Asia, directly affecting China's trajectory and the future of Korea and Vietnam. The psychological toll on the generation that fought in and lived through World War II would have been immense. The despair and desperation of failing to secure a critical victory like Midway could have left deep scars. Veterans would return home with not just physical injuries, but profound psychological wounds, affecting American society for decades. In essence, losing the Battle of Midway would have altered the United States' path in the world, directly impacting its global leadership role. The principles America fought for, freedom, democracy, and human rights, might have faced even greater challenges both during and after the war. The arc of the 20th century and beyond would have bent in distressing and unpredictable ways. The loss at Midway would have impacted the very fabric of the post-war world order. The spread of communism, the decolonization process, and the Cold War could have unfolded under dramatically different circumstances, creating an unfamiliar political map. Global institutions like the United Nations might have evolved differently, with different powers taking the lead. In retrospect, the Battle of Midway was more than just a naval engagement. It was a critical fulcrum upon which modern history turned. A Japanese victory at Midway would have set off a cascade of consequences, reshaping the world in ways that are as dramatic as they are sobering. The Battle of Midway was pivotal in preventing a seismic shift in global power dynamics. Losing this battle would have plunged the world into a vortex of extended conflict, suffering, and a drastically different future.